Ragged Trousered Philanthropists, I think someone probably puts it in your hand, don't they, and say, read that, lad. Yeah. You were saying, weren't you, about what it was like as a book, with his writer's head on. And I'm saying, but you don't read it that way, do you? You probably read it in your teens or early 20s or something, and you're not reading it as a book. You're not reading it as a work of fiction. You're reading it as a political message. I think you go into it with that in your head, don't you? That it's a political message.
That's how I came to it. My father-in-law, who would have been born around 1880, and that was his Bible. That was the basis, after a long life of what he was about, in a way. And so I was encouraged to read it. And I think that's how most people come across it, isn't it?
Yeah. My dad was it. My dad was a union man, a union rep, and he made every one of us. In the Maggie Thatcher years, you recognise things that were happening in that book. No, you did, you recognise things that were happening again.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And it's repeating itself.
And now it's happening again now.
I mean, if you think back to, we're from Liverpool. The dockers, they fought to get out the pens.
Yeah.
And, to get decent work and wages and stuff like that. Now you look at the 0-hour contracts, they're basically, that's just a pen for everybody. Yeah. The working class aren't getting better off. You can see financially the working class are getting worse off. The richer are getting even richer. And the rights of the working class are actually regressing. You got working hour contracts and stuff like that. It's actually, I think that book was a sort of like a wake-up call to the working class. And basically we just fell asleep, haven't we?
Put it on snooze.
Yeah, basically.
I do agree with everyone, because I help out at the food bank every Friday. So I know the kind of people who are coming in aren't the unemployed. There are some unemployed. It's people who are employed who can't manage on the amounts of money they get, given the need to pay the rent, the fuel and food. This idea that they're going back a century is true. They're just using different phrases.
It's part of the problem of a book like that, is that we all know what's going on. But what do we do about it? We just go out and vote next time.
Yeah.
And you're voting to give your power to somebody else to do that to you. And you say, how many people in the modern Labour Party have read that book?
Or would read it.
Or would read it, yeah.
I've never read it, but I'm going to read it.
Why do you think you're going to read it?
Well, it sounds very interesting.
We've told her to.
And it's free on Kindle.